Hello everyone. Today I am going to explain object class dot equals method. Now we will be looking into dot equals method. See, basically dot equals method is used to compare the objects. See, for example, I am having two objects. So I want to check whether they are equal or not. So what I will be doing here is I will be using equals method. So this equals method will check the content of the two objects. If the content is same, then it will return true. If the content is not same, then it will return false. So by defaultly object class dot equals method is not meant for content comparison. It is meant for reference comparison. So if two references are pointing to the same object, then only it returns true. Otherwise it returns false. Now let us see that in the form of a program. Now I am having this class student. In this class student, I am taking string name and int roll number. So and meanwhile I'm also taking constructor student string name comma int roll number. Here in this constructor I'm going to initialize both the values. This dot name is equal to name. This dot roll number is equal to roll number. So I have initialized both name and roll number. Now in the public static void main method, what I will be trying to do here is I'm going to create a student object. So how we will be creating the student object? Now see here, student s1 is equal to new student. So here I'm going to pass Rahim and his roll number is 1. So one object I have created. Now student s2 is equal to new student. Here I am passing it as Kareem, comma roll number 2. Okay. Now I am creating another object. Student s3 is equal to new student. I am having the same content. In the first object, what I have created, the same thing will be there in my third object also. Now, now what I will be doing here is I am going to check the objects s1 and s3 are equal or not. S1 is equal to s3 or not. Now I am going to check that. See here in this first case, S1 is pointing to the student object with the content Rahim, and S3 is also pointing to the student object with the content Rahim. Now, is these two objects are pointing to the same object means they are not pointing to the same object. They are pointing to the different objects with the same content. So whenever I am checking with S1 equal to S3, it will not return true. Why? Because equal to operator is meant for reference comparison. So when this operator returns true, it returns true whenever these two references are pointing to the same object, then only it will return the true here. Otherwise it returns false. In this case it will return false. Now I'm going to save this program. So student dot java. So I'm trying to compile this program. Java c student dot java. So program got compiled successfully. Now I'm going to run Java student. So it is returning false here. I said it will return false. So even though the content is same, it is returning false. Why? Because they are pointing to different objects, two different objects. For example, if I have done like this, means student s4 is equal to s1. Now here s1 is having the object student and s4 is also pointing to the same object. Then if I check whether this s1 and s4 are both are equal or not. Now in this case, s1 and s4 are pointing to the same object. Now you will be getting what? True here in this case. So it will be returning true. So I hope you understood what is this equal to operator. Equal to operator is meant for reference comparison, but not for content comparison. Even though the two objects having the same content in the previous case, it is returning false. Why? Because they are pointing to the two different objects. Now in this case, both the references are pointing to the same object. That is the reason it is returning true here. So this is what conclusion on about this equal to operator. Now, coming to this equals method. So one thing I want to show you that how to use this equals method. Now I'm going to use that equals method. Now I'm going to check s1 dot equals of s3. Now see here, s1 and s3 are having the same content. So they are having the same content. So what we think that this dot equals method should return true. So let us check whether it is returning true or false. So basically it returns false. False. Why? Because in object class dot equals method is meant for reference comparison but not for content comparison. For content comparison, what the programmer has to do, he has to override the dot equals method for the content comparison of the two objects. So in program, what you need to do is that you have to override this dot equals method for content comparison. So how to do that? Now I will be showing that. So now let us see that. Now I am overriding that dot equals method. Public boolean. The return type of equals method is boolean. Equals. Here I am passing it as object. It accepts the parameter object. Object O. In this equals method, what I am trying to do is I am trying to have a variable string name is equal to this dot name. Int roll number is equal to this dot roll number. So I will explain what exactly happening here. So now look at here carefully, and now student s5 is equal to here I'm typecasting that object type into student type. Student type. I will explain this clear clearly. Now I'm going to check if s5 dot name equals to if s5 dot name dot equals of that name and s5 dot roll number equal to that roll number. Which roll number? The above one roll number. Then it has to return true. else, it has to return false. False. Now, I have overridden this equals method. Let us see that. See, whenever I am calling s1 dot equals of s3, what will happen means, so you're calling this equals method on the s1 object, means you are also passing this s3 as parameter to this equals method. Now, here that s3 object will be replaced with this o. So here you are having s3 object. So coming to this dot name, see who called this equals method s1 has called, means the current object here is what, s1 object, means this here is nothing but a current object. So who called this equals method, s1 has called. So because of that, I'm using here this to get that name here. So whenever I'm calling this dot name means what, s1 dot name. So in the s1 dot name, what it will return, s1 dot name means here I'm having Rahim. So Rahim will be placed in name variable. So roll number also will be placed in roll number. So here which object is there, s3 is there. So I'm typecasting that s3 is of what type, student type. So I am typecasting into it student type. So I am getting that s3's name, means s3's name, student name, and I'm comparing with this name. So if these two names are equal, it will return true. And I'm also comparing the roll number. So here you can observe that what I am going to check here, I'm going to check the name. So name is in the form of string. So in string class, dot equals method is overridden for comparison, overridden for content comparison. So no need to override the dot equals method for the string class. It is already overridden for the string class to check for the content comparison. So here this dot equals method is will not recursively call this equals method. Why? Because this dot equals method I have called on the name, means this name is nothing but a string. So in string class, dot equals method is overridden for content comparison. So here no need to override dot equals method for string class. So it is already overridden for content comparison. So I hope you understood here. Now, see here roll number. See, I'm checking the roll number whether they are equal or not. So I'm not going to use that dot equals method here. Why? Because dot equals method will be applied only on the object type, but not on the primitive types. So here that is the reason I'm not going to apply that dot equals method for the primitive types. So equals method will be applied only on object types, but not for primitive types. So that was the reason I'm using here double equal to. So if this is equal, then you have to return true. Otherwise, you have to return false. Now, see here, I'm going to check whether the S1 and S3 are equal or not. See here, in the previous case, you got a false, but in this case, whenever you have overridden that equals method, you are getting true as a result. So I hope you understood the difference between understood the difference between the dot equals method when you have not overridden, when you have overridden. So when you have not overridden, you are getting false. When you have overridden, you are getting true here. So this is about equal to operator and dot equals a method. So I hope you understood the differences between this dot equal to and uh, dot equals method and double equal to operator. See, the difference between these two is, so the double equal to can be applied for both primitives and object types, but dot equals method can be applied only for object types. And coming to this double equal to operator, you can apply this double equal to operator for both primitives and object types. So uh, there is there is one thing I want to remind that see here, double equal to can be used between the objects to check the reference comparison. So when you can apply this double equal to means there should be some relationship between these two objects. Then only you can apply this double equal to operator for these two objects. If they are having some parent to child or child to parent relationship, then you can apply. If they are not having any relationship, if you are trying to apply this double equal to operator, then you will get a compile time error called incomparable types. So coming to dot equals method, dot equals method, see here, if the two objects are not equals, then it ultimately returns false. If they are equal, it will returns true. So that is the difference between your double equal to and dot equals operator. So thank you. I hope you are clear this concept. So I will be discussing many more topics like this, and I will be giving demos on different topics in Java. So please watch my videos. So if you if you are satisfied with this, give me a feedback.